Coming up on this edition of Sports Path, we have your volleyball highlights featuring Modern Meadhide and Tartan.
And we'll also bring you the sights and sounds from White Bear Lake's homecoming matchup against the Roseville Raiders.
And then we head down to North St. Paul to give you your fill of fall sports section playoff action, which includes soccer and football. All that and more coming up on the next episode of Sports Path.
Welcome to another exciting episode of Sports Path. I, of course, am Sam Erickson, and I'm joined alongside Michael Lawrence.
It's great to be back in the studio. We have a jam-packed show for you tonight, which includes some section football playoffs. But first, let's jump right into our trivia question.
And that's right. We're still looking for a winner in our trivia contest that we started a couple episodes ago. And you have the chance to win some fabulous prizes if you answer our trivia question this week. The last couple weeks, we've done a few football-themed questions, so we thought we'd switch it up and go soccer theme this week because North St. Paul has had such a good year on the soccer field. And we want to know, what year did the North boys soccer team win the state tournament? So if you give us that year, if you go on Facebook.com/TV19 Sports, are the first one to comment on our Facebook question. That question, once again, what year did the North boys soccer team win the state tournament? You can win some fabulous prizes, and we have a close-up of those right there. There's our TV19 mug. We also have a nice T-shirt on the inside that I will not pull out just yet. And, you know, it could be
it's pretty
kind of a
fantastic
surprise
T-shirt.
if you win it, right?
It's going to be awesome. Moving on to volleyball, where we begin with the Metro East volleyball standings. And Hill Murray has been the top dog of the conference. They suffered their first conference loss last night to North St. Paul, being swept in 3 sets. It was the first time this season that the Pioneers have allowed a conference opponent to win a set against them all season. But they'll look to finish the season against Tartan to take home the conference championship. And now we head over to Modern Meadhide to see their volleyball matchup against the Tartan Titans. And there are their records right there, right before the game. And we're going to pick up this action late in the first set. Modern Meadhide on the serve. Tartan, St. Career sets up Haley Kissinger, just hammers the ball out of bounds. Zephyrs lead 24-19 on the set point. Hansen tries to spike it, but Titans recovered nicely. And now Gomez John spikes it over, but it goes out of bounds. And Modern Meadhide takes the first set 25-19. In the second set, Zoe McCarthy. She'll be serving for the Zephyrs. Tartans get their attack going, and Alexander Lyle finds a great spot for the point, and the Titans are up 24-22. Hansen trying to extend the set for Modern Meadhide, but nice dig. Gomez John trying to end it, sends the ball into a wall of blockers, and it goes out of bounds where Tartan takes set number 2, 25-22. Game tied 1-1. Julie Pilla starting things off for the Zephyrs in the third, but her serve goes out of bounds, and Tartan has the 1-0 lead. Now Alexander Lyle with the serve finds a soft spot in the back line. Tartan up now 2-0. Lyle once again on the serve. This time Modern Meadhide is unable to handle it, and Lyle, she's just going to keep on doing what she does. She picks on the Zephyrs back line, and the Tartans are now up 4-0. Lyle serving it again. This time Modern Meadhide is able to keep it in play, but they can't return it over the net. Now the Tartans are up by 5. Lyle barely gets it over the net, and they pick up their 6th point to start the set off right after a Zephyrs timeout. Hansen spikes it for Modern Meadhide. Tartan keeps it alive, and Gomez John tries to spike it, but the ball hits the net, and the Zephyrs stop the bleeding to pick up their first point. Now late in the third, Zephyrs are actually up 24-20. Kissinger spikes it over for Tartan, and she closes the gap 24-21. Now Jesse Bradshaw serves for Tartan. Picks up another point as Modern Meadhide can't return it. And on the next volley, Gomez John gets it over the net. And the Zephyrs are unable to get their offense going. And Tartan is now down 24-23. Sophia Gatz is back to serve. Matabidai trying to give it back, but the ball hits the pole, and the game is now tied at 24. Gatz serving for the Titans. Matabidai is able to return the ball back, and then Kissinger spikes it into the blockers, and the ball goes out of bounds, and Tartan is up 25-24, but they need 2 to win. The next serve for Tartan goes out of bounds, and the game is tied at 25. Now Hansen serving for the Zephyrs. And Tartan gets the dig, but the spike will go out of bounds. And Matabidai's up 26-25. All the next volley. Gomez John places it nicely, and the game is once again tied up, but this time at 26. Gatz on the serve. Matabidai looking to take the lead. And they do. Zephyrs are up 27-26, and they have the serve. Alexander Lyle trying to answer for Tartan right here, but it goes a little too long, and Matabidai takes a set 3, 28-26, and lead 2 sets to 1. And that fires up the crowd on senior night. As you see there, they're up, Matabidai up 2-1, picking up the action late in the 4th. Alexander Lyle trying to go for a huge spike, but it's sent right back, and the Titans lead 24-20. Can the Zephyrs go on a run of their own? They make it interesting with some nice plays, but eventually St. Creer places it nicely over the net, and Tartan takes the 4th set 25-20. The game is now tied up at 2 sets apiece. Going on to set 5. Zoe McCarthy serving for Matabidai. Ball is set to Bradshaw, but it gets away from her, and the Zephyrs are 1 point from winning. And then on senior night, senior Zoe McCarthy closes the game out as the ball barely gets over the net for the game point. Matabidai wins 3-2. We caught up with McCarthy after the game to get her thoughts on the game-winning serve.
Well, I knew it was like a really important serve, so I was just taking my time, and it looked like it was originally not going to go over, so I was very surprised when it went over, and I didn't even watch it go over, so I was really surprised when everyone started cheering. It's really big because we just lost against Tartan against their senior night, and we usually don't beat Tartan very often, so it was a really big deal that we beat Tartan this year. So.
All right, let's take a look at the Suburban East volleyball standings after that impressive highlight and match we just witnessed. And it's been a bit of a long rebuilding year for the White Bear Lake volleyball team. As you see them sit in the bottom, they're winless on the Suburban East season, unable to get a victory over a conference opponent. They also haven't been overly competitive in conference matchups. They played in 20 sets against conference rivals and have only won 2 of those. And things don't get a lot easier as they have to face off against perennial powerhouse Roseville in their last game, and then they look forward to the postseason. So long year there for White Bear Lake, but we wish them the best of luck.
Yeah, I mean, the regular season's just getting over, but once sections start, I mean, it's an entirely new season. We're going to take a short break, but when we return, we have the White Bear Lake homecoming and Section 4 5A highlights featuring North St. Paul. All this and more coming up next, so stay tuned.
Sometimes all it takes to be a dad is remembering how to be a kid again. Take time to be a dad today.
I make learning a privilege, not a chore. And unconventional methods common. I'm a teacher. I make more.
We are always looking for volunteers to work behind the scenes. If you've ever taken a liking to film things with a camcorder, perhaps running a camera with other camera operators, whether it be running a camera, operating graphics, or even instant replay, you will love the fast-paced environment that is live television production. For more info on that, call Arlen Becker at 651-747-3821. That's 651-747-3821. Or email him at arlen@onlocation.org.
All right, welcome back to Sports Path. Once again, I am Sam Erickson with my friend Michael Lawrence on my side.
That's correct. We're about to head right into our football coverage. And if you're a fan of the Polars, you don't want to miss it. And speaking of the Polars, that reminds us about our trivia question.
That's right, Michael. Before we get into the football highlights, we want to have a soccer trivia question about North for you. And we want to know, what year did the North boys soccer team win the state tournament? If you're the first person to comment on that question and answer it correctly, I might say, on our Facebook page, that's facebook.com/TV19Sports. If you're the first person to comment on this question, get it correctly, you stand to win some fabulous prizes here from TV19 Sports. You take a look at it there. That's a mug. That is a T-shirt on the inside of the mug. That's not whipped cream or any sort of exciting topping or anything like that. But the T-shirt is exciting in its own right.
So not whipped cream.
No whipped cream.
Gotcha. Okay. It was homecoming. It was homecoming for the White Bear Lake as they ended the regular season in football, and the fans showed up in force to downtown to show off their support. And congrats to Tim Rockford and Maddie DeBillizon for being the Bears' homecoming king and queen. We see them right there in that nice Mustang, and they moved the party from the streets to right inside the stadium. And everything was a sea of orange. The Bears only have one win in the regular season, looking for another one against fellow one-win team Roseville. Both teams just looking to improve their seeding in this matchup come playoff time. As the Bears took the field, and it gets the homecoming crowd excited. And everyone's just getting jacked up. And just an absolute amazing support from the White Bear Lake crowd, an electric atmosphere. And even the mascot is getting into it. There he is, seen before, just getting it in with our camera guy, just loving it out there, mixing up with some cymbal players. I don't exactly know what he's doing, but whatever it is, probably poor form. There he is with the crowd. He's just trying to spin his head as they're chanting, "Spin that head, spin that head." And there he is trying to play some drums. Doesn't look like he's doing a good job. He's not hitting anything with those drumsticks. And just doing off some push-ups, trying to show his amazing ability. And I think he stole that crown from Tim Rockford, so...
They're playing football at this game?
I guess we are. So we're going to pick this one up late in the fourth quarter. White Bear down by 1 point, 29-28. And on the following kickoff, after Roseville scores, the Bears get a nice return, and they return it to their own 40-yard line. And Carter Kahn in shotgun, looking for someone. He just keeps it himself and runs to the midfield, and he'll be stopped. Just trying to get them in a good scoring position. And then Josiah Majest gets into the mix, breaking it to the outside for a nice 6-yard gain. And Majest is going to be a name you hear a lot. Here he gets it once again for a short gain. And the Bears, they're just trying to melt the clock with under 2 minutes left in the game. Majest once again runs the ball up the middle, goes for a hefty gain. The ball comes loose, and the Raider players say that they have the ball. The refs huddle up and say Majest was down before he coughs it up. So the ball still belongs to White Bear, and the home crowd is starting to feel it. And the handoff to Majest, and this time for a short gain. And the Bears continue to work the clock. They call a timeout here to stop the game clock at 10 seconds with Carter Kahn just trying to survey the field, looks around, doesn't see anybody, goes out of bounds with 1 second left in the game, and they decide to try a 33-yard field goal. Brett Horanowski lines up, snap good, holds good, kick is good. And the homecoming crowd celebration is on as White Bear beats Roseville 31-29. You can't always trust kickers, especially high school kickers, but Horanowski gets the job done in a close matchup, and the crowd rushes on the field to celebrate with the team. And thanks to Grace Sievert for getting those highlights for us so we can bring them to you. But man, what just a phenomenal finish and game on homecoming.
Absolutely. Wonderful kick there at the end to secure the victory.
And so now it is section playoff time. That was the regular season and the season. And White Bear is in the Class 6A. I guess we're going to start with the Section 5A bracket. And we see SMB and North have the bye week, so they didn't play anybody. But Monmouth High faces Minnesota Washburn 42-21. And Tartan loses big to St. Paul Central 46-19. So moving on to the semifinals, SMB loses a heartbreaker to Monmouth 10-7, and North takes on South Paul Central 33-8. And we got those highlights for you, so let's take a look at how North did it against Central.
And you see there's a big snowman out there in North St. Paul. They were hosting Central. We'll get this one started early in the first quarter. Hand off to Isaiah Corinne, one of the exciting running backs for this Polar squad. He looks like he's tied up there, but he bounces out to the left for an additional 15. He's a little slow to get up, possibly tweak something on that play. Not sure. Next play, Ken Kamoga gets the handoff there, and he gets it down inside the 5-yard line, which gets him pretty jacked up. So jacked up, in fact, they give him the ball in the next play on the sweep. His legs get taken out from under him, but that's after he gets in the end zone. And he gives a little thanks for the fact that he still has a leg and can do that, I'm pretty sure. So leading 7-0. This one goes Corinne's way once again. He goes right. He cuts left. He cuts left again. Looks like he might be heading to pay dirt, but good speed on the defense for Central as he'll bring him down inside the goal line. But once again, next play, Corinne gets the sweep, and he is in. Extra point would be good. And that would be a 14-0 lead for the Polars. Looking to get back into it. St. Paul Central nearly with the interception, trying to get some momentum back on their side, but it slips right through the fingers of the defender. So North would keep the ball until this point when Bishop McDonald puts it on the carpet. Good pressure from the Central defense, and they would recover. So in their ensuing possession, they're trying to get some yardage, get back into this one. Quarterback throws up into double coverage. That is the wrong way to go. But Bishop McDonald, guy who had 11 picks coming into that game, somehow can't come down with it. Anyway, Central doesn't do anything with their possession. Polars get it back. There's Corinne once again running inside the goal line. This time he is very slow to get up, and in fact, he would have to leave this game, some kind of leg injury. He watched the rest of this one from the sidelines. That would set up this run as a little double handoff goes to Bishop McDonald. He's fighting his way for the touchdown, can't quite get it. Next handoff goes up to Odeyemi. Odeyemi looks like he might have it, but just stopped on the goal line. And with a minute left to go in the half, Jimmy Bothwell says, I'm going to just take it myself. He does. He'll get in, and that makes it 21-0 at the break. We resume here about midway through third quarter. North knocking on the door once again, not quite able to get in. Here's a little miscommunication. They're not able to get in as Odeyemi stuffed. But on third down and goal, the sweep will go to the left. That'll be Bishop McDonald. McDonald's first score of the game as he's had to take up some of the carries that Corinne left because of the injury. McDonald gets in. The extra point will be just to the left. Hard to see there, but you see the referee motion, no good. So that is off to the left. 27-0 now your score. Central trying to punt it late in the third quarter. This kid must have watched the Michigan State game over the weekend as he just throws away the bad snap rather than trying to punt it. Turnover on downs. Switches over to the next quarter. North on the other end of the field. Handoff goes to Odeyemi. He becomes the fifth different player for the Polars to score a touchdown. Extra point is blocked, but that makes it 33-0. So all things looking good for the Polars as they're trying to pick up their first section win in 10 years, folks. First in 10 years. First time they're trying to make it to the championship game in 18. They pick up a fumble there, but can't do anything on their possession. They turn it over on downs. Now Central trying to do something with their offense. Nice long completion by Sam Gubrub, the quarterback. Gets him to about midfield. Here's a trick play as they try the old handoff and then a pass, but the pass just too long for the receiver. This is not a replay. This is the next play. Play action. Gubrub finding his form a little bit. Gets his man in stride. He's got to slow down a little bit to catch the ball. So he'll be short of the goal line. Couple plays later, sweep goes to the left. And Central will get into the end zone. Although this one only with 7 minutes remaining, might be a little too late, as that is their first score. They go for two, do a little bit of the fun jump throw here, and just barely get it as that one is converted. The two-point conversion makes it 33-8. We caught up with Fazeo Odeyemi about this victory and what it meant to him and his teammates.
But that'll do it. The final here tonight.
Feels great, especially since it's the first win in 10 years, the first section game, and we're feeling really confident about the next one. Our offensive line is underrated. I tell them every day, you guys don't get enough credit because it's usually the running back shining, but without them, we couldn't do it. And if we keep doing it, we're going to keep going farther and farther and farther. Well, as soon as we knew that he was done for the game, we all played that game for Isaiah. And so every down, I thought about him, and I was running that ball. I'm like, I can't get down for him because he wants me to score, and I luckily did down there. You don't know how bad I want to play Modern Midnight again. How many times can you say you play Modern Midnight twice, beat them in your homecoming, and beat them in your sections? I really want to play them again.
Yeah, we said before, this is the semifinal of the Section 4 5A bracket. Mod Mead High defeating SMB 10-7. TJ Tumbleson getting the Mod Mead High touchdown, and North will make it a Fab 5 section final against North and Mod Mead High. So the winner is going to advance on to state. Should be an exciting game. North won that first matchup 14-9 in their own homecoming. So it should be a good game.
Based off that game, it should be a really good game. I believe that's Saturday night.
Yeah, Saturday 1 p.m.
Saturday 1 p.m. and that is, I believe, the 24th, October the 24th. We want to say, yep. So be sure and catch that. That will be at North St. Paul High School because they are the higher seed.
Yep, and also the Class 6A playoffs are also happening, which is consisted of the top 32 schools based on enrollment figures, which includes White Bear Lake. They had the number 7 seed and they faced Oceano in the first round, but they ended up losing 48-21, so their season is now over.
And it looks like we're going to take a short break, but when we return, we stay with the Polars, but move on to the soccer pitch. And don't forget to get your answers in for our trivia question.
Kids will spend 15 minutes watching online videos like this one.
Brushing for 2 minutes now can save your child from severe tooth pain later. 2 minutes, twice a day. They have the time.
Perhaps you may have missed some of our games, or you may want to rewatch your favorite Fab 5 school's victory. We just want to take the time to remind you that we post all of our broadcasts right on our Facebook page, and that also includes old episodes of Sports Path. Be sure to check us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter to catch the latest and greatest on your Fab 5 schools.
And one of the reasons why you want to follow us on Facebook is you can answer our trivia question, which is what year did the North Boys soccer team win the state tournament? And if you know the answer, be the first one to respond on our Facebook page, which is at facebook.com/TB19sports. And the question is, what year did the North Boys soccer team win the state tournament? Go to our Facebook and you could win a mug or a t-shirt. There you see a good shot of that right there, just a good mug with all the team's logos there on that t-shirt. You got a choice for a prize.
That's right. Welcome back one final time as we lead you down the sports path. As we just showed you, we have a nice prize to give up. I'll give you a little hint on that trivia question. It wasn't that long ago. We'll just put it that way. Yes. It wasn't that many years ago.
You definitely could have seen those highlights on a Sports Path episode. We are past the midway point in October, and that means that the fall sports are gearing up for their postseasons.
You know, soccer is the first sport to start seeing their tickets punched for the state tournament, and we're going to start with some of the section brackets. We'll start with the Section 4 Single A bracket. You see Modern Mead High there as the number 1 seed, and they got past Hmong Academy rather easily, and they'll face Como Park, who beat St. Paul Washington 3-2 in the next round. In the bottom half of the bracket, you see 2 seed Hill Murray. They edged St. Paul Harding 1-0, the 7 seed. And they will face off against Mounds Park Academy, who is the 3 seed. So if things go the way they're meant, Modern Mead High takes out Como Park, Hill Murray takes out Mounds Park, we'll have a Fab 5 final in the Section 4A boys soccer tournament as well.
Yeah, now let's take a look at the Section 4 AA bracket, where we see the Polars as the number 1 seed, and they just won the Metro East, and they blasted Hastings 7-1, with Ada Claremont scoring an astonishing 5 goals. In the bottom half of the bracket, Eastridge put an end to the White Bear season, beating them 1-0, and then number 7 seed Tartan was shut out by Stillwater, losing 3-0. In the semifinals, North beat Parker Cottage Grove 3-0, and Eastridge beat Stillwater 2-0. And they'll set up the section finals with North versus Eastridge, which is happening right now as we are being taped, and we'll be sure to get highlights or a recap of that game in our next episode of Sports Path.
But I'll tell you what we did get highlights of. That semifinal game of North taking on Park of Cottage Grove. You see it there, North, the higher seed, the number 1 seed in the section, hosting Park of Cottage Grove, who came into this one with a record of 6-9-2. You see North there with the impressive 15-2 record and unbeaten in conference play. And a big reason there is Ada Claramon. You see the stats there, 30, count them, 30 goals and 10 assists. 30 goals in like 17 games. That's almost 2 a game. So dude is out of bounds, scoring 5 in the previous round. We'll get this one started kind of late, scoreless into the first half. But Ken Love Solon says that Claramon isn't the only one on the team, and he's the reason he wears number 9 as he dips and dives through that Park defense and places a beautiful shot into the top right corner to give North the 1-0 lead. Now we'll go in early on into the second half. You see the cross coming in, a bunch of players battling for it, but Brian Solis of North St. Paul, the first one to react as it comes up off the crossbar. Maybe the Park defenders thinking this one going out of bounds as they just kind of give up. Solis, though, keeps his eye on the ball and is able to just toe poke it by through the empty net easily, and that is a 2-1 lead. You saw another look at that goal there. Keeper may be coming out a little bit too late. This will be the third goal. This one will put Park away. Coming off the corner, Busquets Judy elevates above the crowd, and he will head this one across the net into the bottom right corner. That gives North the 3-0 lead. They win this one easy, and we had a chance to catch up with goalie Malachi Zamakona about his shutout. That would be his 8th shutout of the season, and about North's season in general.
It's big. It builds my confidence, builds our team confidence. It shows other teams that, you know, we're not going to concede many goals. We're good defensively. It's big. Well, we knew the goals were going to come. I mean, it wasn't really frustrating. We knew Ata or Kenny or Boost would finish eventually, and he did. Ken Love made a great run and struck a great ball and did for us. We just keep doing what we're doing, keep playing our game, keep finding Ata, Boost, keep, you know, solid back line, just everything we've been doing all season. Just we got to keep that going.
Side where we say Section 4 Single A, and Modern Meadhide, the top seed in this bracket, they beat Mounds Park Academy 10-0. Hill Murray, the 4 seed, beats St. Paul Central 1-0. And then in the semifinals, Modern Meadhide is taking on Hill Murray. So a winner of a Fab 5 school is going to be in the section finals, and they'll face the winner of Minnehaha Academy or De La Salle in the bottom half of the bracket.
And in the Section 4 2A girls bracket, we see it was a tough going for Tartan as they lost 8-0, but White Bear was able to best conference rival Woodbury 3-2. In the bottom half of the bracket, North was upset by the number 6 seed Stillwater, losing 2-1. They will face Eastridge in the semifinal game. You see in the semifinals, as we switch it on over, White Bear lost to Moundsview 3-0, ending their run, unfortunate. And Stillwater continues to be the Cinderella as they beat Eastridge 2-1. And into the final, the Cinderella story had an abrupt end as Moundsview looked like the number 1 seed all along as they took them down 8-1. And Moundsview will be your Section 4 2A representative in the girls' state soccer tournament.
Well, I got some bad news. We do not have a social media winner to our trivia question. And in case you forgot our trivia question, it was, what year did the North boys soccer team win the state tournament? And the answer is
2013.
2013.
I knew it.
Be sure to check us out again on our Facebook page the next time during a live Sportscast episode, which will be on November 4th at always 7:00 p.m. So be sure to watch it. And if you know the trivia question, you could be our first winner to get either a t-shirt or a mug.
And we want to thank you for watching tonight's episode. Want to wonder why you didn't comment on our wonderful question, but thanks for watching anyway. We hope you tune in on November the 4th when we go live at 7. And that has been your Sports Path.
Solon has it. Takes slice and dice.